So cryptozoology basically is the study slash advancement of the science of species of animal that we do not know fully about, or we do not know anything about yet, but we can sort of posit the existence of. If the major example of things like this is the more abstract side of things like Bigfoot, like the Loch Ness monster, the Birdman, things like they're known as cryptids collectively, and everyone sort of devalues the entire field because of that sort of sphere of it where it's very abstract, less evidence based. And I'm going to say this out now, I do think it is incredibly likely that Bigfoot is out there. Just getting that out of the way, but that's not what I'll be discussing today. So people so quickly devalue this entire field, which is an entire field of science. You wouldn't just devalue the entirety of, like, physics just because of one side of it. You wouldn't devalue all of chemistry because of Burionic theory. Like, you wouldn't do that in any other field. Yet people here devalue this entire, quite credible field of science just because of some people believing in Bigfoot and Loch Ness Monster and all that. But realistically, let me level with you here, realistically, 95% of the ocean is undiscovered, yeah? We do not know jack shit about living creatures on the microbiome level. We do not know of any creatures living in stratospheric levels. We have very, very bare knowledge of animals living around us. There are parts of the world we haven't even been to, probably, to study their animals. So, realistically, it is 1,000 times possible for there to be millions, and I mean millions, if not billions, of species undiscovered and unknown. Maybe not to the extremes of giant monkey men or, 10-foot wingspan birds, but yes, they did exist at some point. Maybe some of them still exist because, evolution's a weird thing and shouldn't always work, and as we've seen, it has always worked. But I guess with evolution, if it doesn't work, the thing dies. That's kind of the point of it, so that's why I wouldn't see anything that doesn't really work out well, but I'm sure there'd be some kind of exception. But we don't see 10-foot wingspan birds flying about. But just because we don't see them doesn't make them not possible. Have you ever seen a Komodo dragon? No. But see, that's again, people have seen them, but as I'm saying, so much of the world has had zero exploration, and even bigger portion of it has had like the slightest touch. Think of parts of the Amazon, parts of sub-Saharan Africa, those deserts which are almost unbearable for human beings to be in for more than a little while. Think of how many animals there are living there. Think of in caves under the ground. We have only recently discovered that it's possible for animals to live without oxygen. We have been on this planet for so fucking long, and we only discovered about 2 years ago that there are nitric breathing insects. We only just discovered that. And every few days, species are being discovered. Albeit, frogs and spiders, because there are so fucking many of them. But they're being discovered at this constant rate. I don't think there has ever been a decline in discovery in species. So why can you sit there and say, yeah, cryptozoology is not an accurate field or not a reliable field, when it literally is, like, being actively involved and actively making progression every day? I don't even think there is a day when there isn't some form of new species discovery. Yes, they are the less extremes. They're the bugs, the beetles, the butterflies. They aren't the Bigfoots. They aren't the Yetis. They aren't, the Long Island ghost thingy, or they aren't aliens, or whatever. They aren't Roswellians. They're just bugs. But a bug, nonetheless, when it is found for the first time, is an undiscovered species being discovered, which makes it a cryptozoologistic discovery, a progression in the study and science of undiscovered species discovered. So, how can you devalue a field that is making constant progress every day, even though people don't see that as this field? That is literally what this field is. So why can people sit there and say cryptozoology is not an accurate field when they're making discoveries every day? Just because there's some quacks who are looking for the Bigfoots and the Yetis and the Birdmen and the Dogmen and the werewolves, which, up my hands up saying they could be out there, but that's not the entirety. There are this more logistical side that is making progress daily. So cryptozoology is accurate, it is monitorable, it is successful, and it is working. We are discovering brand new species daily. So don't devalue cryptozoology just because of, like, you watched that one show, Cryptids Unlocked or whatever it was, about Bigfoot, and it was just some men chasing after a CGI Bigfoot claiming it was real, because that's not logistical cryptozoology, that's quack zoology.